Hey everyone, and welcome to Totally Music Official. I'm Tracy, and I interview, review, react, and chat about new songs, new albums, and live shows. Today I'm going to be joined by Leigh from the band Talking with Ghosts, who's joined me to chat about their new EP so you can find out more about it. Let's get started. Today I'm excited to welcome back Leigh from Talking with Ghosts, who's joined me to chat about his new EP. Leigh, welcome back to Totally Music. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Thank you very much. I'm Leigh Hornsby. I'm I suppose, songwriter, musician, producer. I play for a band called Talking with Ghosts. We're sort of a alternative kind of arty prog rock band from Nottingham. And yes, we have a new EP out, which we're very excited about.
It's good to have you back on. So you've just released your new EP. Would you like to tell us about it?
Yeah, it's been a long time in the making. This one, it's sort of it's 6 tracks, and it's almost sort of a dumping ground for a whole load of songs that we've had in the live set that are audience favourites, and we've never got around to recording for one reason or another. So, because we're sort of mentally preparing to write a new album, we thought it'd be nice to get out a load of the stuff that people have been asking for recordings of before you get your head down and you try and create a single piece of work, as it were. So yeah, we thought it was an ideal opportunity just to make an EP of some of the concert staples and fan favourites, as it were, and get them out and about. And yeah, it was a lot of fun doing it. We recorded it and mixed it ourselves, as we generally do. We had a couple of good guest musicians on it as well. A friend of mine who's a saxophonist guests on a couple of tracks, and another friend who's a samba percussionist, added a whole samba band himself to another track. So, in our usual way, we like to fiddle with stuff and make studio recordings as studio recordings rather than just as live tracks. If you see what I mean, we like to have them do a little bit more with the studio technology. So it was a good opportunity to do that and get these songs into a slightly different light, perhaps, from the way people have heard them before.
Nice. And if someone was discovering your band for the first time through this EP, what do you want them to know about you?
What I want to know about is, I suppose, one thing is that whatever we do is what we fancy doing at the time. So it's not always the same as what we're going to be doing next time. Sometimes we lean more towards the heavy rock stuff that we like, and sometimes we lean more towards the folky stuff, and sometimes we go into weird time signatures and more into proggy stuff. And it just really, we've never, as a band, been too worried by being, I suppose, either genre pegged or worrying too much about what other people thought about it. So we tend to fly in the face, I'm afraid to say, of many of the basic rules of songwriting these days, like get to a chorus in 20 seconds, like nah, not really, or keep your songs to 3.5 minutes. Honestly, this EP is almost the same length as Rain in Blood, and it's only got 6 tracks on it. So yeah, we are a band of I suppose eclectic interests, but equally everything we do sort of sounds like us.
Nice. And which song on the EP came together the fastest, and which one fought you the hardest?
Well, Fastest is an interesting one because Dreamcatcher and Waterline were both written in the space of a week. I took a week off a while ago took a week off work a while ago to have a songwriting session, and I literally wrote Dreamcatcher, Waterline, a song called Kind of Things that still hasn't been recorded yet, and most of another song that never kind of came to fruition because we never quite made it work. So, in the space of that week, we created 3 entirely new songs and half another song that didn't come together. So, yeah, Dreamcatcher and Waterline both came together very fast.
And how about which one was the hardest?
Hardest one by far was Promises of Green, and that's because of the subject matter. I'd kind of written the tune and I'd written the chord sequence, and then because it's about my experiences of giving the eulogy at my father's funeral and dealing with his death.
Yeah.
Literally, it got written line at a time over quite a long period of time and reflects his interest in Dylan Thomas and his poetry. So it involves some use of Dylan Thomas allusions in the lyrics. And of course, when you're writing something that is as personal as that, you want it to be right. So really, that took, I think, 3 years to finish. From when my father died to when we finally got it into a shape that I was prepared to perform it. So that's actually, I think, probably the newest song of the set, the newest song of this EP. But yeah, that was definitely that came together a little bit at a time.
Yeah.
And now, of course, I'm now unfortunately Steve, our drummer, has lost his father recently as well, so it becomes even more of a
Yeah.
emotive reflection of our own experiences, I suppose.
Oh dear. So what's your favourite song on the EP and why?
It's hard to pick a favourite because there are a lot of ones that I mean I like all of them very much. Otherwise, I suppose we wouldn't have recorded them. Um, I'm very fond of Elsewhen. I think Elsewhen's an interesting one because I almost didn't give it to Talking with Ghosts. I almost saved it for a solo record because it didn't sound. It has quite a lot of funk to it and samba, and so having a bit of world music and a bit of funk to it, and that's not really the Talking with Ghosts style. I thought, well, that's that one. Maybe I'll keep that one. But I played it to the guys and said to see what they thought, and they thought it was nice. So we kind of put that together, and it's almost become our latest concert, our latest sort of staple or signature song, which was not something I ever imagined would happen.
Nice.
But that one, yeah, that one I think it's a huge amount of fun to play, and it's got a lot of bounce to it, and takes us away perhaps from some of the more overtly serious stuff that we do. So it's nice for that as well. And of course, most songwriters will say when asked, "What's your favourite song?" It'll be the most recent one because it's the one I haven't played live 1,000 times till I'm bored of it. So,
Yeah.
but a lot of them have personal meaning for me one way or another, either from the circumstances under which they were written, or the way they've been used, or stuff that's happened, or what they were about.
Cool. And is there a moment on the EP that you're especially proud of that listeners might miss on first listen?
I think and this is a very geeky technical thing to say, but it's the mix on Elsewhen, because Elsewhen has so many instruments in it, including a whole samba arrangement and lots of additional percussion, saxophones. There's layers of guitars. There's so much stuff there that making it sound like a cohesive thing, which isn't just a jumble of instruments, um, was its own little feat. It took me a long time to get the mix where I wanted it to. So, unless you are a total geek out sort of music production fan, you probably wouldn't spot that because it sounds very natural now. But it seriously didn't when we wrote it, and I was a point where I was thinking, do I just delete a load of this stuff because really there are more layers here than any sane person would want in the same piece of music. But yeah, listen out for that. It's fun, especially when Pete, our guest, it's got both of our guest musicians on it as well. But Pete, I think basically sent me a whole load of recordings. He borrowed his entire samba band's instrument set and then recorded each percussion instrument like one at a time, and then just sent me all of these layers to mess around with afterwards. So we had a lot of fun trying to make that happen. I'd like to try and do that live, really, see if we could borrow a samba band from somewhere and a saxophonist and play the whole arrangement in its full glory. But the way we write songs is we write them from the bottom up anyway, so it can work perfectly well with just me and an acoustic guitar, or as a four-piece rock band, or as a whole kind of production.
Nice.
So yeah, keep an eye out for that. It's very silly.
And what lyric on the EP means the most to you right now?
Well, it has to be Promises of Green, doesn't it? Because that is the one so that is so very personal. The rest of the songs, insofar as any of them are personal, was probably a while ago. What's it called? There's a song called Bones of Contention, which was about a relationship I had quite a long time ago. And there, because the theme of the record is memory, and a lot of the songs are all about recall, and the album title, I suppose, but it's all about recalling stuff that happened to you. A lot of it is not so personal these days, simply because it was a while ago, and I was, exploring the idea of aging and how your perception of your own experiences changes as you get older. So yeah, whereas Promises of Green is still, I think, the thing about bereavement is it never it never gets less painful. It just becomes less frequent that you think about it.
Yeah.
And so I can't see that will ever be anything other than a fairly raw, fairly personal experience singing that song anytime I do.
Cool. And did you intentionally place the songs in a certain order to tell a story?
Kind of. I placed the songs in the order for the musical flow more than because the songs are all on a kind of broad theme, I suppose. But I did place Butterfly Times, which is the upbeat one about marriage, at the end of the record to give it a sort of happy ending.
Yeah.
So there was an element of that, having gone through the relationship breakup one and the bereavement one and the sort of all the rest of the stuff that happens as the record progresses. It's only got 6 songs, but it's quite a lot of content. So yeah, I think the flow was more to do with the musical flow than anything else. But we certainly put Butterfly Times at the end to give it an uplifting finale after all the serious stuff.
Nice. And how did you come up with the artwork?
Again, because the theme is memory and looking back on your experiences, I wanted some things that were made sense with the subject of the record. The record's called Echoes Bones, and the way I see that is that it's what's left after the echoes have died away, if you see what I mean.
Yeah.
So it's what's left after the immediate emotional trauma or the immediate emotional response you have to your own experiences is kind of faded into the background, and what you have is something more, if not objective, certainly more a sort of drier experiences of your own recollections. So what's left after you, after the immediacy of experience has faded into the background, and so I wanted some stuff that kind of symbolized that metaphorically and also came out of my childhood. So it's a sort of collage of 3 significant monuments from Ashby, where I grew up, and where Tim, my bass player, grew up as well. So there's the centre is the Hastings tomb from St Helen's Church, which is a sort of famous landmark. There's a bit of Ashby Castle. It's shot in the sort of an arch of Ashby Castle, which is obviously it's in Ivanhoe, so it's known in literature as well as as an ancient monument. And then there's the skull and crossbones symbols, which are plague pit symbols from I suppose from the Black Death one, and whatever impact that had on Ashby during that period. So it's turned into one image, as it were, but it's actually a collection of a number of things that I saw a lot when I was a child, and also kind of fits in with the theme of the record of metaphorically of recollection and of death, and also actually of stuff I saw when I was a kid.
Finally, what's next for you?
What's next? We've got a few gigs lined up. We're unfortunately, Tom, our guitar player, has had to leave the band to go and move down south for a job. So at the moment, we're back to being a trio again. So we've got a few acoustic things booked. We are looking to, I hope, record another record before much longer. And we'll doubtless go into the recruitment process of another guitar player, sadly, as it was a lot of fun working in that configuration. So yeah, I think at the moment we're still in the grips of the kind of promotional period after you've made a record, and then after that we'll start thinking about the next record. But I would really like the next one to be written more or less at the same time, like we did with the Symposium album. I mean, we wrote all the songs there over about 11 months. So I'd like to do that again, so everything has a kind of coherence to it that I suppose, whereas Echoes Bones is a lot more eclectic because it was written over a much longer period of time. So yeah, there's quite a lot on the calendar, quite a lot to get on with, and I'm hoping very much to focus on songwriting this year. I've managed to extricate myself from a whole bunch of musical commitments that are more to do with helping other people with their stuff, so I can focus very much on songwriting this year and get some new material and refresh the set, because I think we've been playing more or less the same set for the last 2 years without very much in the way of new material. So yeah, we're keen to get some new stuff in the show.
Nice. Well, looking forward to seeing what's coming for you.
Thank you very much.
So yeah, massive thank you to Leigh for joining me on Totally Music. If anyone would like to check out Talking with Ghost Music, I'll leave all the links in the description below for you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Nice to see you again.
Thank you for joining me to chat with Leigh. I hope you enjoyed finding out more about Talking with Ghosts' new EP. Leave a comment below to let them know that you're a new fan, and don't forget to check out all their socials using the links in the description below. If you've checked out their music, please let me know what you think of it in the comments below, And don't forget to hit my subscribe button if you'd like to discover some more incredible independent musicians. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.